Welcome to the MyCAP pop-up training. My name is Bill Rabbit. I'm one of the co-founders of College Aid Pro, and I'll be leading the training today. We're just going to give it about a minute to let some folks shuffle in here, and then we will kick it off. Alrighty. All right, my producer, Eileen Campbell, is joining me. She's going to be sort of in the background, but you might catch me talking to her throughout. Eileen, are we good to go here? All right, let's do it. All right, well, again, thanks everybody for joining today for this MyCAP pop-up training. This is the first of many pop-up trainings. We're gonna do this, probably weekly, at the very least bi-weekly, but we will keep you informed. And kind of the goal here is to keep this super focused, keep it to 30 minutes, and we're going to spend our entire time in the MyCAP software. Okay, so for those of you who are here with us and have been following us, and maybe there's some of you who are brand new, MyCAP is our flagship college planning software, right? And I'll give you the Cliff Notes version here. And I will say part of the reason why my producer Eileen is here, part of her job is to keep me on track and keep this to a focused 30 minutes. And, she's been advised to, say Billy land the plane if I tend to ramble on. So I encourage everybody else, if you think I'm rambling on, and sometimes I do when I get into the MyCAP software, feel free to put in the chat, Billy land the plane. Okay, we'll set the tone really quick. But the goal here is to spend the entire time in MyCAP and pick out specific components of the software. And today we're going to be focusing on merit scholarships. Okay, we built MyCAP as sort of an end-to-end tool, right? And it kind of came by way of, we were working with families one-to-one through the entire college funding process. And the software kind of mirrors every single phase. And there's a lot there. So these trainings are meant to kind of focus in on, one component at a time. So with that said, I'm going to jump here into MyCAP. Let me share my screen. Here we go. And Eileen, just shoot me a note. Just make sure audio's good, recording's good, and you can see my screen. Oh, we got a thumbs up. Excellent. All right. All right, well, let's jump into it. So today, again, we're focusing on merit scholarships, leveraging MyCAP to find merit scholarships, see if your student is going to get a merit scholarship at a school that's on your list, on your radar. Also, how do we find colleges where we know, they might not necessarily be on our list, but these colleges, or how do we find colleges that we know are going to offer our student a merit scholarship? Okay, so jumping in here, and I guess we'll start at the very beginning. If you have a free MyCAP account, you're probably familiar with this. If you've yet to create a MyCAP account, I encourage you to do so. I will say, for everyone who kind of hangs on to the end of this training, we do have a special kind of offer for all of you, which I'll mention at the end, which I think will be a no-brainer to become a premium member with us. But we're going to get started here with the dashboard. And I just want to point out these numbers right here. Your federal SAI, or Federal Student Aid Index, your institutional student aid index, okay? And basically, these are numbers that are calculated in MyCAP, and then eventually when you go to do the FAFSA CSS profile, which will be a whole nother training, These are the numbers that the colleges will calculate to see if your family is eligible for need-based financial aid. Okay, so based on how high these numbers are, this particular use case is a family that's not going to be eligible for need-based financial aid. And in those situations, when you're a family that's not eligible for need, even at the most expensive colleges in the country, your strategy to limit your out-of-pocket expense is and should be focused on merit scholarships. And what's nice about today's training is merit scholarships are applicable to everybody. It's not just, it doesn't depend on anything from income, assets, that sort of thing. And it doesn't mean you have to have, the very best student, a brilliant student. We're going to go over different scenarios where we have a very, high achieving student with great GPA, SAT scores, and then we're going to look at, more of an average student, right? And no matter where you fall on that spectrum, you can leverage MyCAP to find merit scholarships. Okay, so we're going to start with a student who their family's not eligible for need-based aid, and this is a student with a 4.0 GPA, weighted 4.8, and a SAT score of 1410. So very, very strong GPA, very, very strong SAT scores. If your school does a class rank, and you know the size and your student's class rank, you can add them to your profile. Okay, it's not necessary, but you can add that to your profile, and that just informs our algorithm on the back end to be able to project some scholarship opportunities that have a requirement of high school rank. Okay, so we jump in here. This is our school selection page. Okay, and I already have some of the filters here. And again, we'll talk about the differences between freemium and premium. And the freemium version of MyCAP, right, you could save up to 3 schools, and you're only eligible to do a single search. If you want to use any of our advanced search filters here, which we'll go through in a minute, that's available to our premium members. Okay, so again, as a recap, we have a non-need family, so they're not eligible for any need-based aid, very, very strong student. Where they're going to see their discounts is merit scholarships. So what we could do here is we can type in, let's say Gonzaga is on our list, or we're interested in that. Gonzaga, pretty expensive school, but what happens? What's actually the net price going to be if our student gets a merit scholarship? Well, we can see right here with a single search, Gonzaga, our net cost is not going to be, or rather, the sticker price is pushing 80,000, but our net cost is going to be 52,000. Now, this is a family that's not eligible for need. So when we see this discount, we know that's going to come by way of a merit scholarship. How we can kind of dive deeper here is we can jump into Gonzaga's profile. And again, I'm not going to go through all of these. These tabs will be other trainings. We're focusing on merit scholarships today. But we can see we can expect a $25,000 merit scholarship from Gonzaga. And what we do as well is we list out every single merit scholarship available at every school in the country. Okay, completely proprietary. Our data team works day and night with putting this together, maintaining it. And what sort of is the differentiator is not only do we list out all of the scholarship programs, but we've been able to reverse engineer where the different breakpoints are as per the requirements of the school in terms of the dollar amount that you can expect. So you can see here, we've projected a $25,000 merit scholarship for this particular student. And here's kind of the reasoning behind this. The required GPA, SATs, ACT scores, things like that. And we wanted to make sure we invite the younger grades, freshman families, sophomore families, especially junior families. You're starting to probably feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up with college right around the corner. But this is a great scholarship planning tool for freshman and sophomore families as well, because you can look at schools that you're interested in and see, okay, what are the requirements that would make me eligible for a merit scholarship? It also can show you, okay, well, if we're able to get that GPA up, to from a 3.6 to a 3.9, well, we're going to see a $4,000 increase in our merit scholarship award. Obviously, the ACT score is tied to this particular school. Okay, so it can help, I guess, conceptualize a return on sweat equity. Okay, if we can get our GPA up, maybe we're thinking about taking a test prep course, we're unsure. You can use this to model out different scenarios, and especially freshmen, sophomores who don't have test scores, just starting to get their GPAs, you can go ahead and model the different kind of scenarios and give you a target to shoot for. If we go back here, or if we wanted to save this school, we can. So we'll add this school to our list. Let's go back here. Let's take a look at a school like Baylor. Baylor is another school who their business model is that they're very good with merit-based aid. You can see here, our net cost is going to be a discount from the sticker price, and that's because of a merit scholarship. Again, we could go and do a deeper dive here. What are we expecting? We're expecting a $21,000 merit scholarship from Baylor, and this is what has been projected. And you could always drill down into all of these other different programs that are available from a merit scholarship standpoint. Usually we coach that as well. For schools that certainly you've saved to your list, go through every single merit scholarship that we list out there, because there are some scholarships that have unique requirements, like a supplemental essay or an interview, or different things like that. So obviously we do the bulk of the work in projecting a realistic expectation for your merit scholarship, but there might be some other opportunities for you to investigate. Okay. So let me go ahead and, I guess, before switching the profile to, kind of a more average student, this is a very quick way for you to, search for scholarships and also search for at least the schools that are initially of interest. You can get a gut check on if you can expect a scholarship. But how do we then leverage MyCAP to find schools who are going to give us the most merit scholarships? And that's where the advanced search feature comes in. And we have some of your typical school search filters, right? The institution type. So we'll do a 4-year, enrollment size, public, private, location. Let's see, maybe we'll do within 500 miles of our home. But what sets our kind of search engine apart is our financials tab, right? So there's a lot here. I'm not going to go through each of them. Like I said, we're going to focus on merit. So for this particular student, if I'm a parent, if I'm a student, I can go in here and say, okay, we want to make sure we're trying to identify colleges that are going to give us the biggest merit scholarship. So we could go to the merit scholarship filter, and we can click any scholarship, or we could just search for schools who offer automatic scholarships. The difference there is automatic scholarships are sort of a system that some colleges use, where it's basically your GPA, your SATs equate to this scholarship. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's a grid system. There you go. Those are ideal, right? Because there's no sort of subjectivity to it. Any scholarships include automatics, but also competitive merit scholarships. And competitive merit scholarships are scholarships that obviously take into account your GPA, SATs, resume, things like that. But it also is up to the college to determine, that award for the student. So we can go ahead and put any scholarship, and let's say we'll do a business major, I guess. We'll go ahead and apply those filters. Okay, so we got 344 results, but we're really just focusing in on merit here. So let's go ahead and let's sort by who's going to give us the biggest merit scholarship available. So Gettysburg College, they're pushing $90,000 a year. The net cost is going to be $38,000. And again, we're still a scenario where need-based aid isn't on the table at all. So maybe that was a school that wasn't on the radar that, might be a good fit. We could take a deep dive here. Say, okay, well, based on our scores, we're expecting a $48,000 merit scholarship from Gettysburg, which is a tremendous college. Okay, so again, it's a very quick run through to see how you can gut check these colleges in terms of what you can expect from a merit scholarship. If you're a non-need family, this is huge in order to secure discounts and not pay full sticker price. And for younger grades, this is great to model different scenarios where you could go into your profile. And I'm actually going to switch some things up right now. Let me move this. Let's go ahead and say, all right, well, maybe this student has a 2.9. We'll switch that there. We'll bring these down to, I don't know, 10.10. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. The system is automatically going to update. So this is how you can model different scenarios, right? If you bring your ACT score up from a 30 to a 32, right? What can you expect? So now that we updated these to, I guess, for lack of better words, a more average student, what does that do to our merit scholarships? There's still plenty of colleges out there who will offer merit scholarships. You don't have to be, that's a huge myth I'm hoping that we can kind of break here, is that, well, my student's not super strong, so it's probably not going to get a scholarship. That's not true. Some colleges, their business models are specifically merit scholarship heavy. And Salve Regina is one of those schools, right? With a 2.9 and a 10.10 SET, this student obviously is still going to see a substantial merit scholarship. Here we go. So Salve is one of these schools where they're just looking at GPA. They don't have SAT, ACT requirements for their merit scholarships. Okay, so this shows why we're going to see that $21,500 merit scholarship award. We could do the same thing here for this particular student with not as good of scores. We can still search for schools with these same criteria who are going to give the biggest merit scholarships possible. Wheaton, Susquehanna, things like that. So Clarkson, all very, very good schools, and they might not necessarily have been on the radar, but if you're a family who is not eligible for need-based aid, you don't have the ability to write checks for 80, 90,000, or you just don't want to, merit scholarships are going to be your key to success in terms of driving your out-of-pocket costs down. Let's see here. I'm sure everyone is noticing our affordability tags here. Again, that'll be a different training. That is an exercise that we encourage you to do in your profile where you as a family, you build out your 4-year college budget. Here's what we realistically can afford to pay for college each year. And then our system will basically take your 4-year net cost, put that up against your 4-year budget, a realistic number that you guys can afford to pay, and we'll let you know basically what the outcomes are going to look like down the line. And again, now I'll probably need a Billy land the plane here, but this will be another training as well where we go into affordability, right? Where we're able to project out what the 4-year net cost is. In this particular case, they have a 4-year budget of, they can come up with around $91,000. So there's an estimated loan total, or a funding gap of $115,000. This is labeled as caution because that's a sizable amount of undergraduate student loan debt, right? And a business major that is coming out of Getty or Wheaton rather, they can expect a $71,000 starting salary. And that's kind of the benchmark where if you have to borrow more than the first year starting salary, we're going to just label it as caution. You might want to think about it. Okay. Okay, let me stop for a second and just make sure. I think I'm doing pretty good on time here. I'll see. Okay, let's see. All right, Eileen, do we have any questions or? Okay. All right, awesome. Look at me. I got 8 minutes to spare here. So let me jump back into. So back into the profile here. And we could jump back to the home page. Again, this is your kind of yearly budget compared to what the colleges think that you could afford to pay, right? And then again, we can, if you are a premium user, you have access to these filters. If you're a freemium user, these are kind of locked out. So I guess at this point, I'll for anybody who was able to stay with us till the end, what we're going to do, we appreciate you being here and kind of getting schooled up and trained up here, is that we're going to offer and encourage you to sign up for MyCAP Premium today. And the cost typically is basically $5 a month. It's $4.99. It's a subscription. You could cancel anytime. What we're going to do today is we're going to provide you with a coupon code where you can get started for $1. Okay, so I mean, I hate to use the G word, guarantee, but I think I'm comfortable with saying that here is that I guarantee that your dollar investment into MyCAP Premium, you're going to see quite a bit of a return on investment. Okay, not only is it going to save you a ton of hours, a ton of stress. Basically, you put your inputs in once and you could search for any college. Today, we're specifically honing in on merit scholarships, and I think it's a great starting point because that's applicable to any family, right? Despite income, assets, that sort of thing. But you'll be able to see the full footprint if you are eligible for need-based aid, right? After filling out your profile, we're going to factor that in too. And again, we'll do a whole nother training on the need-based side of things, but I want to make sure what we're doing today is focused on this merit scholarship piece of the puzzle. And I encourage you to get in here, battle test it, start to put together your school lists. And if you are in the younger grades, or even if you're a junior currently and you're thinking, do I want to take the SAT again or the ACT again? Go ahead and see if that major change will affect the amount of merit scholarships you'll be eligible to receive. And for some schools, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Just a small uptick in some scores can result in tens of thousands of dollars in return for that effort. So let's see here. I'll stop sharing. Eileen, are you able to put the coupon code in the chat? Let's see. I believe it's get started. All right. So that's the coupon code. I'll drop the login here for everyone. And what I will say, as part of becoming a premium member, right? Get started for $1 this month. And then if you want to cancel, I don't think that's going to be the case. But if you don't cancel, then it'll be $5 a month thereafter, and you can cancel anytime. Because I want to keep these pop-up trainings to 30 minutes and keep it really focused in on specific parts of the platform. There's really not a lot of time for Q&A, but what comes along with your premium MyCAP membership is you'll be invited to our bi-weekly office hours. That's held every other Monday, and it's a live Q&A format that's hosted by either myself or one of our college planning experts, who are fantastic. Some of them work in MIT financial aid office, Harvard financial aid office, USC financial aid office, things like that. So you can bring those questions if you have a particular situation or what have you. It's sort of our way of putting a little human touch along with the software. And then also, we have specific member workshops every other Thursday on the off weeks that are really more specific strategy type ways to approach each phase of this process. So along with having kind of the full reign of MyCAP, you have access to our experts via biweekly office hours and member workshops. So that alone, I think, is worth $1, and I certainly think it's worth $5. So look at me, I got 2 minutes to spare. This is great. So we'll cut it short there. I really hope to see you guys in the premium membership and on office hours and member workshops. And I really hope you're able to leverage this tool. And it doesn't matter if you're a family that's very well off or the opposite. You know, we built MyCAP specifically to be a low-cost solution that can help cut through the mess, the lack of transparency from these colleges. So that way, you know, for this multiple hundreds of thousands of dollar investment, you can kind of go in eyes wide open, feel good about what you're doing, you know, and make an educated, you know, decision and become an educated college consumer. So, well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Be on the lookout for our next pop-up training. Next week probably is not going to happen with Christmas and all, but I appreciate you. We'll keep getting you schooled up. You know, the way I look at this, it's College A Pro, and I can speak for the entire company. You know, we're advocates for the college consumer. So the way I look at it is it's us, Cap, and you guys versus these colleges, right? College is great, but we got to do it in a smart way where it's an academic fit, but also a financial fit. So that way, you know, there's good outcomes for the students and for the parents. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. We're going to follow up with the recording and, you know, some of the notes from the meeting. And with that, I wish everyone a happy holiday. Be safe, enjoy, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.